The imperfecto, the ongoing past tense. Pasado, again, Spanish has two past tenses, the imperfecto and the indefinido. The imperfecto is an ongoing action or an action that was repeated in the past, whereas the indefinido is a one-time action in the past. When we translate the imperfecto, we're saying I was speaking or I used to speak. And the indefinido, when we get to that, will be I spoke. So our focus again will be the imperfecto. These are the regular endings. Hablaba, comía, vivía. I was speaking, I was eating, I was living, or I used to do those things. Our focus on this lesson will be the three irregular verbs in the imperfecto. One of the great things about this past tense is there are only three verbs that don't follow this exact rule. So it's going to be a really easy verb tense to learn and to use. I want to point out to you again that habamos has an accent over the A, habamos, and the I on the ias are all going to be accented. These are the three verbs that are irregular in the imperfecto. Let's look at what they would be if they were regular. If you're taking notes, do not write these down. I'm going to give you the incorrect versions, but let's see what they would look like if they were regular. Ser would be sia, 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 siamos, siais, and sian. Ver would be via, vias, via, viamos, viais, and vian. And ir would simply be the endings themselves, because ir is an ending as well as a verb to go. Ia, ias, ia, iamos, iais, and ian. That is definitely not how these three verbs are conjugated. Let's look at what they mean first of all, so we remember what they are. Ser means to be. Ver means to see or to watch. And ir means to go. When we translate these in the imperfecto, ser is going to be I was tall, I was outgoing. If you're going to be describing somebody or your profession or even the time, you're going to use ser. I was or it was, you were. Whereas ver is going to be I was watching or I was seeing, I saw that in the past. And ir is I was going. Instead of I go, I was going. Let's look at how we will translate these correctly in the imperfecto. We'll start with ser. Instead of sia, yo era, I was. Yo era profesor, I was a teacher. Sias would be era, eras, éramos, erais, and eran. I was, you were, she was, we were, y'all were, and they were. Era, eras, era. Éramos has an accent over the E. Erais and eran. Let's turn our attention to ver. I was watching or I was seeing. Instead of via, we're just going to add an E in there for all of these all the way down the conjugation. Veía, veías, veía, veíamos, veíais, and veían. So it's almost a regular verb. And ir, I was going, becomes yo iba, ibas, iba, íbamos, ibais, and iban. I was going, you were going, she was going, we were going, y'all were going, and they were going. These are the only three irregulars in the imperfecto, so it should be fairly straightforward to learn for you. I want to point out again that éramos has an accent over the E, and íbamos has an accent over the I, and the I will be accented over the veía like they normally would be in the rest of the ER and IR endings. To translate that set of words then would be I was, you were, she was, we were, y'all were, and they were. Veía in English would be either I was watching or I used to watch. And iba, I was going, you were going. Your three irregulars. Your regular verbs, the aba and the ia endings for AR, ER, and IRs. The pasado, in this case the imperfecto, is what we looked at throughout this lesson. Ongoing action, either I was speaking or I used to speak. That's our lesson on irregular imperfecto verbs. Past tense, which means and communicates an ongoing action or an action that occurred multiple times in the past.